Yo guys, I hope you're all good. On today's video, we've got some exciting news. I've just purchased a Santa Cruz Heckler e-bike, which I've been demoing for the last sort of couple of weeks. I've been absolutely loving it. But before I sort of start ragging it too hard, I want to set up a new set of wheels. I've got some Santa Cruz Reserve wheels that they've kindly sent me. But I'm going to set up a tubeless setup with a rim packed foam insert just to help the wheels and the tyres withstand a little bit more of the extra weight and the abuse that I'm hopefully going to be giving it over the next couple of months. So I thought I'd just use this as an opportunity to show you guys a few pointers of how to get a tubeless setup with the foam inserts set up as quickly and as easy as possible, and show you guys a few tricks I've learned along the way working with these setups over the last couple of months. So before you get started, you want to gather up everything you're going to need. So that is obviously starting off with the wheel, either a new or existing wheel that you're going to use. Your tyre insert, I'm using the impact foam insert, but obviously there's a few different ones, and the sort of general obstacles you're going to come up against is going to be similar regardless of which one you're using. You need to get yourself some tubeless sealant, a compressor of some sort, or some sort of high volume pump with some sort of air chamber in it, because we're really going to need to give it a big shock of air pressure to get that tyre to take its bead and seat itself. I'm actually going to use an inner tube to help us on our way, so it'll just make things a little bit easier. You're going to need some tyre levers, obviously. The more the better, and obviously the stronger the better, because some of these tyres are a bit of a mission to put on. If you've not already got some tubeless ready valves, you're going to need to get those on the go. I've got some nice muck off ones. So you're going to have to grab your rim. I've got a nice spanking new Reserve carbon rim from Santa Cruz. Forgot to mention rim tape, which is obviously a must. So this one comes on it. If your wheels don't have it, you're going to need to put some on to make sure you've obviously not going to be leaking any air out that way. Then you want to grab yourself a tyre. As we're moving into the Scottish summer, things are getting a little bit more dusty, although that's always subject to change here. So we're going to go with some Continental Kaisers. We've been running Barons for the last few weeks. Should go without saying, but as you've probably all fitted a tyre the wrong way around before, and knowing how annoying it is, the stakes are definitely a little bit higher when you're fitting a tricky tubeless setup, especially with the inserts. So double, triple, quadruple check that you've got the tyre set up the wrong way, because if you go on this journey and end up getting it all set up at last and realise the tyre is on the wrong way round, you're probably just going to have to accept it and keep it as it is. So just look out for the rotation. So yeah, I just want to put this side of the tyre on as normal. This isn't totally necessary, but there's basically a chance you could put it all together with the tubeless stuff and you'll have the trouble, even with the compressor, to basically get the whole thing to seat. So one thing to kind of preempt that is to put the tyre on as normal with a tube, pump up pretty hard, get the tyre to seat on the rim before then deflating the tyre, taking off one side and then removing the tube and obviously swapping it out for the insert. It seems like a little bit of an extra mission to do, but it's probably worth doing in the long run. So just going to quickly pump this up to get the tyre to seat. I'm going to use the compressor, but you can use just a regular pump for this part. As I'm feeling lazy, may as well use what I've got. So yeah, once you've set it up with the tube, you're basically going to let the tyre down, and hopefully the tyre will have remained on its bead. So once you've deflated the tube, you basically want to pop the tyre off on one side only, because that's going to be crucial for getting it to inflate once the insert's in. Put your tubeless valve back in, or in for the first time. Now you want to grab your insert and basically fit it in. Make sure you've got the right size. Your impact will almost definitely have a join, so I would put it away the opposite side of the valve basically, so you've got a clean bit by the valve. That can actually be a lot harder than that sometimes. but this one seems to be going in pretty well. You then just want to put the tyre back on. It's a little bit harder than it is without the insert, but it's kind of just pushing it around it and then just slowly working your way around once it gets going. This is like a workout in itself. Good wee warm up before you go riding. Doing what you do with a normal tyre, but you're kind of pulling the insert out away from the rim just ever so slightly to try and get the tyre in the other side of it. I swear if you had to do this every day, you'd get arthritis in your thumbs pretty quick. You'll probably find you get to a stage of about that, and then if you were to basically continue to keep doing that bit, it'll just slowly work its way up, so you have to then start basically working it at the same time, which can be a bit of a mission. You get the tyre levers involved in there. If you are struggling, if it's getting a bit tight, you can kind of work your way around the tyre and move the side that hasn't been seated yet into the centre of the rim a little bit, and I'll just give that a little bit extra slack. This feels a wee bit better. Oh. Yoof. That's hard work. So once you got your tyre on, you're going to take out the valve core for maximum space to blast this thing with some pressure. Like I said before, going to use a compressor, but if you've got a tubeless tyre inflators that you can pump up, or a pump that's got some sort of chamber. We've got like a valve set up here, but I'm going to swap this out for just a setup that all it is basically just a tube that we're going to put over the valve like that, because it's just going to give it a way quicker shock. Hopefully this is going to seat. If it doesn't, we've got a few other tricks up our sleeve that's going to help it, because basically what happens with the foam insert is, although it's obviously there to protect, when it comes to inflating this thing, it basically blocks the airflow around the whole tyre. So this may or may not work. It's kind of 50-50, but if it doesn't, we've got some backup plans that'll hopefully help. We've not put sealant in this yet either, so we're going to make it seat first before we put the sealant in. That was a good noise. That one did actually seat. A couple of ones we tried to do a few weeks ago, we were having a little bit of trouble with, but basically what we did is we put like a 2 or 3 mil Allen key through the valve with the valve core out, and actually punctured a hole all the way through the insert, and basically what that meant was that the air could basically go through the insert and round the outside. That helped it seat, but luckily we didn't need to do it there. Because of the tubeless inserts there, even though the valve core's out, it's not actually deflating. So I'm just going to deflate it using like this. The idea of me doing maintenance videos on YouTube is absolutely laughable. So once you've seated both sides of the tyre, I then deflate the tyre, and then I'm going to put some sealant in it. I've got about just about the right amount of sealant in here. It's about 80 mil I think I've got in here. So I'm going to put pretty much all the stuff I've got in here. Probably going to need a little bit more encouragement because of the insert blocking the way. I'll just look yellow at it's going to explode everywhere. You ready for a sealant fountain? Ah, it's fine. I just need to put the core back in. Didn't make too much of a mess. Probably lost about 10% of the sealant there. It's good going for me. And at least I didn't have the rotor on as well. That's another quick pointer. If you've already got the rotor on your old wheel and you want to do it, it's probably semi worth keeping on if you protect it. But if you're putting on a new wheel, I definitely recommend doing this before you put the rotors on, because the last thing you want is your rotors getting caked in sealant. So once you've got your sealant in and you've inflated it, I would just give it, if it's on your bike, obviously just give it a ride, but just give it a real sort of spin round to hopefully get an even coating of the sealant right round the rim and tyre. Yeah, there you have it. One nice looking wheel. I reckon that took me about 30 minutes, which obviously is a little bit of time. It's pretty labour intensive, slightly hard work, but I generally feel with tubeless compared to using inner tubes is it's a little bit of an investment in terms of time and effort, but it pays off massively. And yeah, I guess you better to do the work in the safe confines of your garden or garage rather than out on the rainy, cold trails where you're going to be cursing, fixing those punctures and changing those tubes over. But yeah, thanks again for watching. If you do want to see some more videos from myself, please hit the subscribe button and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.